Hello Internet, and welcome back to another episode of White Guy, Black Woman Talk About Stuff next to our couch that we sit on the floor because we'd be too high up and I'm rambling. Hello, welcome back to Esiri's Corner. I'm your host for this evening's festivities, Carson, and as always with me is the lovely and beautiful Esiri, the namesake of the channel. Today we're going to be talking about preferences in dating, specifically, obviously, well, no, I guess all preferences, but yeah. Racial preferences. Okay. Preferences. Is it okay to have a preference? That is the question of today's topic. But of course, before we get into it, don't forget to do the 4 things that every YouTube tells you to do, like, comment, share, and also subscribe. Please subscribe if you can. It helps us a lot. And if you don't know what subscribing is, it's subscribing. Yes. Somebody out there's like, how do I do that one? What's how do I subscribe? They're Googling subscribe.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, sorry, I distracted myself now. So, okay, let's get into it. So a while back we made that answering Jubilee questions thing, and there was a great comment on that video from, I believe it was a black woman. I'm assuming it was. I think her profile picture was a black woman, although that doesn't necessarily say much. But, and she said that fetishization is always wrong because fetishization goes hand in hand with objectification. And I thought that was interesting, and I kind of wanted to talk about it because in that video, if you guys haven't seen it, well, we'll put it right here. Click it now. Bloop. There it is. For editing purposes, there it is. But in that video, I said, basically, I don't like fetishization, but at the same time, if a man and a woman want to fetishize the shit out of each other in the privacy of their own bedrooms and homes, who am I to tell them that that's not okay? Yeah. I was just kind of like, whatever. I don't feel comfortable telling other people what they should and shouldn't be doing in the privacy of their own homes and bedrooms. But I think fetishization is not a good thing. That being said, the question today is there a line between fetishization and preference? Are they the same thing?
I think there is a difference. Now there could be a sprinkle of one of each in the thing, in each. There could be a sprinkle of
fetishization.
That word in preferences, and there could be a sprinkle of because for you to fetishize.
Fetishize. Say it with a D. It's easier.
Fetishize someone, that person or something. That thing has to be your preference of what you want to fetishize, right? That's something you prefer.
Yeah.
To fetishize. So that's why I said there's a sprinkle of it, but there's a difference, right? Preference, everybody has a preference when it comes to literally everything in life. Food, clothes, relationship, everybody has a preference. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a preference, saying, I like this kind of guy, I want my girl to look like this, I want my girl to, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But that word I can't pronounce, fetishization.
Fetishization.
That word there, I think it's a notch above preference. It's obsession in a really wrong way. And I think in a, some people might argue, but I think in a derogatory. Oh, I can't speak.
Are you having a stroke?
I can't speak English today. That word.
Derogatory.
Sorry guys, this really just turned to like English lessons.
Just like, over here, just
yeah, I feel like it's derogatory in a way because.
Well, of course it is. Yes.
Yeah, so
fetishization by definition is a bad thing.
Yeah.
There's no like good fetishization.
Yeah, like so I guess that's what I wanted to say.
So you're saying there's a mix, there can be a mix.
There can be a sprinkle of each in each.
At what point does a preference become fetishization?
For me, it's when for example, if I say, for example, please don't take this as this is how I am. Let me just put it out there. This is an example, okay?
Example alert. Blink, blink, big flashing red letters.
So, for example, if I say I only like, let me use Carson, white guys, for example. You know, no, let me say I keep telling my friends, oh, I prefer white guys because white guys are X, Y, Z, right? And you know, my friends keep saying, okay, so if you find this XYZ in a person that is black or Asian, would you change your preference? And I keep saying, no, it has to be an XYZ. I think that's when it's a fetish for me.
Or rather, it has to be a white guy with XYZ.
Yeah, that's when it's a fetish. Like if you all the things you like, you want in your partner. You're saying, I want my partner to be tall, hardworking, a provider, blah 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 blah. And you know, I want it to be in a white guy. And if somebody tells you, okay, if you have all these qualities, but you see it in an Asian person or in a black person, would you go for that person? And you keep saying, no, it has to be in a white person.
Right.
Then I think you're fetishizing being with a white person.
Yeah, I think so.
For me, that's when I think it's a fetish, right? Where it's like, it has to be this specific race or this specific thing. It has to be this specific way. Yeah, for me. What about you?
I see. No, I think I agree with that. It's more like saying, I like black women. I like dating black women. The black women in my life are wonderful.
Yeah.
And I love having a black partner is different than saying, I want a partner that's like sexy and this and that and also black. And then I get those other 4 things in a white girl. And then people, but I'm like, no, I can't. It's got to be a black. Yeah, that's like, because you're literally just turning that person into an object of desire.
Yeah, a sexual object. That's just who it is. Like, don't get me wrong. It's nice for your partner to find you sexually attractive. It's important. But when it's like the only thing, right, that is at the core of like your relationship or the only thing they see in you, I don't know, then yeah, you're being fetishized.
I think where it gets really difficult, this is where I'm always like, I don't know how I feel about this, is when people, because like that's all well and good to talk about qualities in a partner, but what about when you get into like just physicality of a partner, right? So like somebody says, I think, like let's say white guy again, example people, example, all right? Don't come for me yet. This is not this is not me saying this. This is Blarson, the invented white guy. So Blarson comes, no, let's pick a different name. No, you know what? Stick with Blarson. So Blarson comes along and he says, I met this beautiful black woman. We go, that's great. We're happy for you, man. And he says, sorry, I'm rocking back and forth.
Yeah, you keep going out of the frame.
And he says, but you know, I love black women. I love black bodies, and I want to be with a black woman. And you're like, okay, but like, it doesn't matter the qualities. And he's like, no, obviously you want them to be like a good person and like, yeah, all the things that we all love. But he's like, I think black women are like the most attractive. I think black skin is more attractive for me in the same way that somebody would prefer blonde hair or red hair. That's where I'm like, something about this doesn't sit right with me, but I can't articulate why I would not be okay with somebody saying that. Because like, on the one hand, saying you prefer a skin color sounds real gross, right? Like on the surface level, right? Yeah. Larson says, I like black women because I like black skin. That makes me go,
Yeah.
Right? In the same way.
And also because not every black woman come in like black skin, right? Or like dark skin.
Right. But well, don't even get into like the colorism. Let's just say he's like, if you got more melanin than me, you're A-okay. Yeah. I'm like, that's weird. Yeah. But on the other hand, if somebody came up to me and was like, I love red-haired women, and I just like, I love red-haired women, the physicality, I think it's more beautiful. I feel like that's like less weird.
I know.
But like it's still weird.
Yeah, I know why you think that's less weird is because if you put it on a scale, red hair and talking about someone's skin color, it doesn't weigh the same, right? In society, that's why.
Oh, yeah, okay, so
that's
maybe
why.
The historical,
historically, when you talk about someone's skin color, it's more than just because they're black, right?
Right.
There's always some undertones, whether it's good or bad.
Also, I guess you can change your hair, you can't change your skin color.
Yeah, so again, you can fetishize someone with red hair. It's normal. Yeah. Like it's a thing, but I'm just saying why you wouldn't think.
Well, not normal. You mean it's common?
It's common,
not normal.
Sorry, it's common. But the reason why you would think if someone said the red hair thing and you're like, okay for this one, but this one you're like, you shouldn't say that, right? Yeah. It's because of like the racial undertones.
I guess
that's really core with like.
I guess there's like a really really fine line, and sometimes it's hard
It's very hard. It's really blurred.
Yeah, especially if you just like really like I've said it in other videos, I'll say it here again. In Korea here, the circle of friends that I've sort of cultivated by accident, most of my close coworkers and the people I hang out with are black women. I have like 4 or 5 like black women that I spend a lot of time with, and Korean people as well. And I've said it before that I much prefer being in spaces of people that aren't white, like non-white, not non-white, well no, like non-white spaces. When I go into an all-white space, like to quote my friend Vanessa on one of the videos, she left this comment, it feels off, right? Like when you're surrounded by only white people, it's like you're just on edge waiting for somebody to say something gross or weird.
Yeah.
And like, so, but at the same time, it's like, at what point is me being like, I prefer hanging out with black people and Asian people over white people? When does that become a problem? You know what I mean? Like, cause like, yeah, I know lots of white people that I enjoy, but I'm just saying like, from experience in Korea, I have a way better time when I'm even like black strangers. I just like have a better time with them. So it's like, it's hard sometimes when I'm like, is this like, what is the problem here? Is there a problem here? I guess not, but at the same time, I don't want it to jump into fetishization territory.
Yeah, that's a really blurred line.
Yeah, or like we get comments from like black women that are like, how do I get a white guy? And it's like, okay, that's weird to say, but at the same time, I kind of get it, but I don't get it. Like, that's hard. It's
really hard, and I feel like, excuse me, it's one of those things where you, if you're in an interracial, I can't speak today. If you are in an it's one of those things where when you are in an interracial relationship, I think it's one of those things where you consciously have to ask yourself, especially before going into it, like, why am I, because when you're dating someone of your own race, you don't think about these things, right?
You just date.
Yeah, you just date, right? So you just have to consciously ask yourself, like, is there more to why I want to be with this person, right? Is it more than is the fact that this person is of a different race, does it really play a very important role as to why? And if it does, what about the race? You know, because you can say you can say yeah, but maybe because this person is white, it plays a role. Okay, why is the fact that this person is white? Why is it important? Like, those things you need to really ask yourself, and you need to be true to yourself when you answer those questions, right? That's when you know if it's like, maybe I'm there for the right reasons, or my reasons are like fetish or whatever. I mean, we're with people for different reasons. Some people are with people for like the economic reasons, the safety reasons. Everybody, we are all with people for our own various selfish reasons. Let's not lie. Some of those selfish reasons can be love, right? Like, you love someone, you want to be with the person, you want to have the person all to yourself because you're selfish. You don't want to share the person with anybody, right? So it's all selfish reasons, but you just have to think, okay, is this my selfish reason a good selfish reason or like a bad? You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because when you say like, you know, why is the race important? Because I've asked myself that question before, right? Because I want to make sure. I don't want to be with, I don't want to cultivate like weird, problematic, gross ideas, especially not about my partner, especially because a lot of these things can be like internalized in you, right? Internalized racism's a thing, just like internalized sexism or misogyny is a thing, right? So but I've thought about it, and it's like, well, why do I prefer, like, does the fact that you're black like make my relationship better? And at just the surface level, I'm like, yes, it does. But then it's like, well, no, but why?
Well, why?
And then I thought about it, I'm like, well, no, it's not really because you have melanin and I don't, or whatever. It's more, I like being with people of other cultures, and so I realized that's really what it is. It's not I'm not just like, I got myself a black girl. It's not like that. It's like, no, I enjoy dating people and marrying, as if I've been married 5 times. I've kept a collection like
if
Pokemon.
If you've been married 5 times to women of color, then you have a fetish. I'm sorry to say that, right? Yeah,
they were just outed me on next video. Carson's been married 6 times. No, I enjoy being romantically involved and being friends with people from other cultures, and it doesn't really have to do with their skin. Obviously, that's a factor. If I want to be around Africans, I'm going to be around black people, right? Like, that's just going to happen. But it's more, I like new cultures, new languages, new experiences, new food, all that stuff. That's really important to me, to have a partner that teaches me things and gives me a better outlook, no, I should say a broader outlook on life, and vice versa. I can teach them things. I like that interaction. So I was like, okay, so this isn't really about she's black.
Yeah.
I would have the same thing if you were from Kazakhstan
Yeah, if I was
or Mongolian or
Korean
Korean or whatever. Yeah, but there's definitely people that are just like, oh, I like black girls, or like I like white guys.
Definitely.
And it's a weird. It's just weird because like there's lots of shitty white guys out there, and there's lots of shitty black girls out there, and black men and white men, and all
races.
Yeah,
shitty people,
they're shitty people. So like you're not. That's weird. Or on the flip side of it, because like the one thing I always think is like, why is it problematic to say I like black women? And it's like, well, it is problematic, and here's why. Flip the reverse. If you met somebody who said, oh, I don't like black women, you'd be like, why not? What is it about? And so it's the same thing. It's just with like positive racial, when people compliment races on things, it seems less problematic than saying like, if I said all black people are ugly, that's a nasty comment. If I say all black people are beautiful, it sounds a lot nicer, but if you really it's still kind of like that's a weird thing. You're still generalizing. Yeah, so interesting. But it is hard though, because there is a fine line
between,
and it's I think being in an interracial couple or a relationship or wanting to be in one, you really kind of have to check yourself a lot. You got to make sure.
Yeah, you have to.
Because fetishization is easy. Right? It's easy to look at your partner and be like, hey, yeah, and like objectification's super easy, and it's something that you gotta kind of always work through. Always put in the labor, guys. And you can put in the labor right now by subscribing to this video and by this channeling.
And also sharing this video.
So if you haven't guessed, this is the end of the video.
Yes. We hope you guys enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
It was actually fun.
I enjoyed it too.
I enjoyed talking about it. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts.
Leave us your problematic fetishization comments. Tell us a story. This is something I want to do more often in the videos. People leave really cool comments and I really like reading them. Give us your perspective. Tell us a story about a time you were fetishized or you fetishized somebody, unless it's like traumatic. You don't have to like revisit your trauma in the comment section. But if you have an interesting outlook or something, let us know. Let us know. That's all. We're done.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in our next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.